Wisdom, the final frontier to true knowledge. Welcome to Wisdom Trek, where our mission is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. Hello, my friend. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your captain on our journey to increase wisdom and create a living legacy. Thank you for joining us today as we explore wisdom on our second millennium of podcast. This is day 1453 of our trek, and our focus on Friday is future technologies and societal advancements. So we call it Futuristic Fridays. My personality is one that I've always been very future-oriented. Since my childhood, I have yearned for the exploration and discovery of new technologies and advancements for the future. I grew up watching the original Star Trek series, and even today, while I'm on my 64th revolution around this sun, I still yearn for traveling in space. Each week we will explore rapidly converging technologies and advancements, which will radically change our lives. At times, the topics may sound like something out of a science fiction novel, but each area that we will explore is already well on its way to becoming reality over the next couple of decades. To keep with our theme of Ask Gramps, I will put each weekly topic in the form of a question to get us on track. So this week's question is, Hey Gramps, technological advances are moving so quickly. With the world population growing briskly, how will technology impact food in the future? So today's topic will be the future of food, and today we'll do part 1. Last week we focused on the implications and opportunities of augmented reality. Our world is in a disruptive mode, which will speed up the exponential technologies that are changing the world today. One area that we do see rapid change is in our food production, which our focus will be this week and next. We are using some of the information mentioned in Peter Diamandis' blog and his book, The Future is Faster Than You Think. Food. What we eat and how we grow it will fundamentally be transformed in the next decade. Already, vertical farming is projected to exceed $12 billion industry by mid-decade, surging at an astonishing 25% annual growth rate. Meanwhile, the food 3D printing industry is expected to grow at an even higher rate, averaging nearly 40% annual growth. Converging exponential technologies from material science to AI-driven digital agriculture are not slowing down. Today's breakthroughs will soon allow the planet to boost our food production by nearly 70%, using a fraction of the real estate and resources to feed 9 billion people by mid-century. What you consume, how it is grown, and how it will end up in your stomach will all ride a wave of converging exponentials revolutionizing the most basic of human needs. Let's first look at printing food, and this may sound odd, but it is soon to arrive. 3D printing has already had a profound impact on the manufacturing sector. We are now able to print hundreds of different materials, making anything from toys to houses to organs. However, we finally see the emergence of 3D printers that can print food itself. A company called Redefine Meat, an Israeli startup, wants to tackle the industrial meat production by using 3D printers that can generate meat, no animals required. The printer takes in fat, water, and 3 different plant protein sources, using their ingredients to print a meat fiber matrix with trapped fat and water that mimics the texture and flavor of real meat. Slated to release later this year at a cost of $100,000, their machines are rapidly demonetizing and will begin by targeting clients on an industrial-scale meat production. Another company called Enriched 3D aims to take this process a step further. 3D printing meals that are customized to your medical needs. Health data from your smart wearables and patterns detected from your sleep trackers will help them to determine this. The company plans on using multiple extruders for multi-material printing, allowing them to dispense each ingredient precisely for your nutritional optimized meal. Another example currently in research and development phase is Nanyang Technology University in Singapore. The company hopes to have the first taste test by later this year. These are only a few of the many 3D food printing startups springing into existence. The benefits of such innovations are boundless. Not only will food 3D printing grant consumers control over their ingredients and mixtures that they consume, but it is already beginning to enable new innovations of flavor itself, democratizing far healthier meal options in newly customizable cuisine categories. The next area we want to look at is vertical farming. Vertical farming, whereby food is grown in vertical stacks such as mini skyscraper buildings rather than outside in fields, marks a classic case of converging exponential technologies. Over just the past decade, the technology has surged from a handful of early-stage pilots to a full-grown industry. Today, the average American meal travels 1,500 to 2,500 miles just to get on your plate. As summed up by World Watcher Institute researcher Brian Hallwell, he said, "We are spending far more energy to get food to your table than the energy we get from eating the food." Additionally, the longer the food is out of the soil, the less nutritious they become, losing, on average, 45% of the nutrition before they are consumed. Yet beyond cutting down on the time and transportation losses, vertical farming eliminates a whole host of issues in food production. Relying on hydroponics and aeroponics, vertical farms allows us to grow crops with 90% less water than traditional agriculture, which is critical for our increasingly thirsty planet. Currently, the largest player around is a company in the Bay Area called Plenty Inc. With over $200 million in funding from SoftBank, Plenty is taking a smart tech approach to indoor agriculture. Plants grow on 20-foot-high towers, monitored by tens of thousands of cameras and sensors, optimized by big data and machine learning. This allows the company to pack 40 plants in a space that was previously occupied by just one. The process also produces yields at 350 times higher than outdoor farmland, using less than 1% as much water. Rather than tailored veggies for the wealthy few, the company Plenty Incorporated uses a process that allows them to knock 20 to 35% off the cost of traditional grocery stores. To date, Plenty Inc. has their home based in South San Francisco, and they also have a 100,000 square foot farm in Kent, Washington, an indoor farm in the United Arab Emirates, and currently starting construction on over 300 farms in China. Another major player is New Jersey-based Aereo Farms, which can grow 2 million pounds of leafy greens without sunlight or soil. To do this, Aereo Farm leverages AI-controlled LEDs that provide optimized wavelength of light for each individual plant. Using aeroponics, the company delivers nutrients by misting them directly to the plant roots, no soil required. Instead, plants are suspended in a growth mesh fabric made by recycled water bottles. Here too, sensors, cameras, and machine learning govern the entire process. While 50 to 80% of the cost of vertical farming is human labor, autonomous robots promise to solve that problem. Enter contenders like Ironox, a firm that has developed the Angus robot, capable of moving around plant-growing containers. The writing is on the wall, and traditional agriculture is fast being turned on its head. As explained by the CEO of Plenty Inc., Matt Bernard, just like Google benefited from the simultaneous combination of improved technologies, better algorithms, and masses of data, we see the same in vertical farming. The next area we want to look at is material science. In an era where material science, nanotechnologies, and biotechnologies are rapidly becoming the same field of study, key advances are enabling us to create healthier, more nutritious, more efficient, and longer-lasting foods. For starters, we are now able to boost the photosynthetic abilities of plants. Using novel techniques to improve microstep in the photosynthesis processing chain, researchers at UCLA are able to increase tobacco crop yields by 14 to 20%. Meanwhile, a project called RIPE, backed by Bill Gates, is run out of the University of Illinois and has matched and improved those numbers. Another example, the University of Essex was even able to improve tobacco yield by 27 to 47% by increasing levels of proteins involved in the photorespiration. In yet another win for food-related material science, Santa Barbara-based Appeal Sciences is further tackling the vexing challenge of food waste. Now approaching commercialization, Appeal uses lipids and glycerolipids found in the peels, seeds, and pulps of all fruits and vegetables to create cutin, a fatty substance that composes the skin of the fruits, prevents them from rapidly spoiling by trapping moisture. By spraying fruits with its generated substance, Appeal can preserve food 60% longer, using an odorless, tasteless, colorless, organic substance. Stores across the U.S. are already using this method. By leveraging our advancing knowledge of plants and chemistry, material science is allowing us to produce more food with far longer lasting freshness and more nutritious value than ever before. But what do we see on the convergence of these three things that we talked about today? With the advances of 3D printing, vertical farming, and material science, we can now make food smarter, more productive, and far more resilient. By the end of the next decade, you should be able to 3D print a fusion cuisine dish in the comfort of your home, using ingredients harvested from vertical farming with nutritional value optimized by AR and material sciences. However, even this picture doesn't account for all the rapid changes underway in the food industry. On next week's episode of Futuristic Friday, we will look at part 2 of The Future of Food for a discussion on how food production will be transformed quite literally from the bottom up. And while these technologies are exciting to think about, as a Christ follower, let us keep in mind who provides for our daily needs. John chapter 6, verse 35. And Jesus replied, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. And that's a wrap for today's question. Join us again next Futuristic Friday for another interesting topic about our future on our Ask Gramps episode. Our next trek will be Meditation Monday, where we will help you to reflect on what is most important in life. So encourage your friends and family to join us and then come along with us again on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past 1,452 daily treks or read the associated journals, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. And I encourage you to subscribe to Wisdom Trek on your favorite podcast player so that each day will be downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day every day. See you on Monday.